Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 42nd episode of Tales of Tamriel. I am Aggelos, your collector. I'm going to say collector because I wrote that word and now I was purveyor. I was going to say it and I was going to mess it up.
You're a purveyor of ancient Dwemer artifacts, and with me this evening is she who takes most of those artifacts, Thais. How are you doing today, my dear?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in love with my husband. I steal all of his stuff. And, yeah. I can't make any money on my own, but it's okay, because when my husband makes it, I make up loans that I have to pay, that he has to pay me. So, yeah, that's what happened. So I'm great. How are you?
Well, let's see. I cannot think of anything to say that would be you. I suck at my Templar, and I'm all about stamina builds, even though they're horrible and crappy. And I try and have good skills. All my skill points go to crafting, which I'm used anyway. All my crafting stuff to my wife.
Oh my god! That is epic! That is epic! Wow, that happened.
That's probably the best introduction we've ever had. And that was about me to a T, I'm not going to lie. All right. Well, I did have something for Deltia, but it's not near going to compare to what she just did. So, Deltia's gaming. How are you?
Good. Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I had an introduction, but it just wouldn't have been near as good as what she had.
No doubt.
Darn. Well, that's awesome. Seriously, how are you doing today, good sir?
Real good. Yep, doing good.
Awesome. All right. All right, well, let's go ahead and we'll move right on into the show, which is game news. Yes, game news. Well, first off, let's go ahead and start with the community programs. Guild Spotlight, the Hired Blades. That's right. There's another Guild Spotlight hosted by the official Elder Scrolls Online page, and this one is called the Hired Blades. They are a role-playing guild out of the EU mega server, albeit they speak mostly German, is from what I hear. Yes,
so
German.
Do 80% of the other guilds that they spotlight.
Yeah, well, we were actually talking about this one in the pre-show before the craziness that happened in there. But this is one of the few that's Ebonheart packed. Because if you went through and looked at all of these, there's ever since the start, most of them are either AD or won't say what their thing is. They're like, we don't have one because they don't select, I don't know, whatever. But
yeah, I caught you talking about that.
Yeah, there's only 2 Ebonheart packed ones that were even done. So, Guild Spotlights, I really think they need to switch it up a little bit. I think they're completely random, but they really need to do 1 week AD, 1 week Ebonheart pact, 1 week Daggerfall Covenant to kind of spread around. You can be random from there, but don't accept anyone's thing if they don't do an alliance. Just simply.
No, that's not fair because our guild doesn't really have an alliance.
We're Ebonheart pact.
Oh.
When you make a guild, you have to pick one that which side of the war it's supporting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You knew that. You're trolling.
She is trolling. She's trolling hard.
Oh yeah, I'm such a troll.
You're such a Scarlett Johansson troll. Oh, bringing it back, kids. Pre-show. Gonna have to stay tuned for that. That's gonna be a special episode.
Special episodes, absolutely. Well, if you are interested in joining this little guild, you can go to their website, which is hiredblades.org. There's a hyphen between that.
Hired-blades.org.
That's right. Check them out. Deltia, what do you think about the guild spot? I think it's a nice idea, but do you see it as being kind of, I don't know, useless?
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, obviously you have to depend on what their purpose is in doing that. If they're trying to find people, to group up and stuff like that, maybe. There's probably other better resources for guild recruiting than that, per se. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's good to show off different guilds. I think it's useful because not everyone is a hardcore PvP, PvE guild. So, to me, I think it's useful. But the whole, French connection every 5 seconds French stuff, it's just, that's useless.
Yeah, see, I still believe they just took when you fill out that little thread, it's just random. They just pick a number and whatever it is, that's what they do. I think a little bit more thought needs to go into these. Just because the random nature, like you said, makes it seem like we're ignoring them because it's like, come on. Half the guilds make no sense whatsoever. And also, I really think they need to go through this list and make sure the guild is still active, because I have a feeling half of these guilds that were put in at launch probably aren't even there anymore.
Well, there's a lot of really good active guilds that do a lot of different things. I would like to see them do a serious PvP guild, a serious PvE guild. Like, we're the first to down Serpent Trial, or, you know, I mean, I know they invite people like Entropy Rising and Defunct and all those guys out to the event or whatever, but let's profile them, you know, let's do something like that. I think doing something on the high end and on the low end and in the middle, as far as like casual versus hardcore, do a mix, not just RP or just dinking around, but do PvP. Show them what the hardcore PvP guild looks like.
Sure. And Lucid 500 in chat goes, I'd like to see just one EU guild that speaks English.
I can agree with that. Yeah.
It's kind of funny because almost everyone they've done has been like either a German or a French guild. Period.
Yeah. I don't. That's bizarre, but whatever.
What about you, Thais? What do you think about the guild spot?
Thais loves their Germans.
I do.
That's right, she does.
Yeah, I do.
Me.
Oh, because you're German?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, but you're also a Leo, and I hate Leos.
That's
so
true.
It kind of balances out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're Polish. I'll just conquer you anyway.
Wow.
Wow,
right.
we're going racial jokes this early in the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of early in the show for that.
Yeah, it's early. It's early for a racist joke or a religious joke. That's pretty early for you, Ag. I think that's a new record.
Pretty early indeed.
Well, after the beginning we had, where we're tossing them all in, just
yeah,
for good measure.
The show's already going downhill from there. It happens. All right.
I like the idea of the guild spotlight, but I do agree that they need to fix it a little bit. Because so far we see 80% EU guilds that are German, and like no American guilds that are anything. So they need to balance it a little bit more.
Random number generator is not always your friend. Unless you're Thais, then it's never your friend.
Yes, because I have no luck.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you go, everyone. Guild Spotlight, the Hired Blades. Check them out if you're interested, and if you speak German. Albeit, if you speak German, I doubt you're listening to this podcast.
Maybe they speak English too.
Dark and Shine, or is that... Okay, that was terrible.
What were you trying to say?
I was just trying to make a funny, like, Dankeschön. Isn't that a German word that people say?
Yes, it is.
Come on, I'm funny, guys. You like me.
Yeah, it's all good.
You're also goofy looking and make us laugh.
Dude, what's up? Goofy looking is in right now. Like, bald head, it's like, that's the new hot thing.
People are so yesterday. It's goofy
yeah, dude.
People
Goofy nerds, that's like what all the chicks want right now.
That's right.
That's why I married you.
That's right.
You were goofy looking.
That's right.
Still are.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Love you bunches. Okay. Well, let me go cry in the corner. And let's talk about the next thing, the Battlemaster corner, the Daedric Monk. So, I know we were talking a little bit before about maybe they need to start showing a few builds that are, I guess, cookie cutter that people are using. And I guess they're making a step in the right direction, because this next one is a sorcerer who uses, what? Elder Staves Online, a Destruction Staff. Not even like anything other than an Inferno Staff, because that's the only one people use. And a Resto Staff. But Deltia has some words about that.
Yeah, the build is okay. I mean, it's just they're using Meteor, the Shooting Star Morph, as a Sork, and then their other ultimate is Summon Storm Atronach, which I like the Atro as far as a DPS ultimate. However, you really need Negate as a Sork. It's just such a powerful ability. It's a 1 in a million ability. I mean, no one else has access to stun an entire group and or heal for the spells that you remove or spell resistance. It's too powerful not to use. So, and then also Flawless Dawnbreaker is a really high DPS tool. It doesn't work on the Restoration Staff, but it does work on the Destruction Staff. You're looking at, 13% more damage based on your Destruction Staff abilities, because, like I always say, Destruction Staff goes off of weapon damage, not spell damage. That's why that ability is so powerful. So, I mean, the basic premise is there. Crushing Shock, I mean, if you've ever played DPS in this game at a high level, it's basically Crushing Shock online. You light attack, you light attack, crushing shock. If you weave it, that's 1,000 damage. It is, and it's, you know, you can do more than that, but it's kind of cheesy just to do the crushing shock. That's what everyone does. So they have the basic premise. Another flaw, I think Rage Philosophy brought this up on Ellis Goes Off the Record, is, you know, no inner light. It's 20% crit chance. You know, that's a big deal. And speaking of that, the Mage Guild passives are really, I think, undervalued from people. They don't understand what they do. They give you magic in return. But what I do is a little trick. You can automatically proc a 20% spell power buff. If you look at the Mages Guild's passives, in there you have a thing where after you use the Mages Guild for 7 seconds, you get a chance to proc 20% spell power. So what I do is I turn Equilibrium on or off, or I mean Inner Light on and off, to get that spell power crit thing, and then run in there and do it. And so that's a little trick that you can use to increase your DPS that you really need a Mage's Guild skill on there, in my opinion.
Okay.
I have to say that I don't agree with their restoration choices. Blessing of Protection, that's the one that's the cone, right?
Yep.
Okay. I absolutely despise that skill because most of the time during any kind of fight, no one is really just going to be standing in front of you. You're going to be facing other directions, and in order for that to be effective, you really need your entire team to just be standing in front of you. And it's such an annoying skill. I don't understand why that would be one of the ones that they chose, or even why they put skill points in it. And the Unstable Clan Fear, when I had one of my summon people on my bar, I had Pookie.
I hate Pookie.
I love Pookie because she gives mana. So those choices to me are just really strange. I don't agree with them at all.
Belt, do you have anything you want to say about Blessing and Protection? Like, do you like that?
I love Combat Prayer. Yes. Combat
Prayer.
The other morph is a 9% damage increase. It's DPS dust. It's just a huge benefit to the party. Yes, they have to be all clustered up and stuff like that, but if you run with a well-coordinated team that you can spray DPS dust every 9 seconds, you're going to get stuff down a lot faster.
No?
I don't know. It's
You play the rest of the staff, so I'm letting you take this one.
With the circle, the healing springs, it's real easy because it's a large circle. And if not, you can just cast it like in a circle or multiple circles around you. It doesn't really use that much MP. It's just a really good skill. But with that one, it being the cone for point blank from where you are, it was just more trouble than it was worth. That's just how I feel though.
Okay.
I do much better with the other three. And then the other 2 skills I have on there, I don't remember what they are.
Is one of them Inner Light?
Yeah, no. Maybe.
What?
And I'm not sure. Heals don't crit.
Heals don't crit?
I think it might be. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
It is? It is? Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And
You're a little ball like...
And I know that I have this Storm Atronach because I will live by that Storm Atronach.
On both
love
of your
him.
bars?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because it's awesome. That is how much I love that skill.
But why?
Because it's a great skill. My Atronach, Sparky, as I know, or Paul, one of the other.
Paul or Sparky, okay.
Paul or Sparky has saved your butt plenty of times.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you put like what Deltia said, Flawless Dawnbreaker on your bar for the damage bar? Because it increases your staff damage. And then putting Sparky on the then anytime you want to use it, just flip and use him.
Because I don't know. No.
I'm just gonna
because I
do
don't
it.
have skill points in that skill.
You could.
Why would I want to? I'll never use it.
You will.
I am so used to using Paul that's just I'm comfortable with using him. I know what he does. I know what happens when I put him on the ground.
You don't use Flawless Dawnbreaker. You just let it on your bar.
Oh.
Because it's 18 or 13% more damage. You don't ever use it. Like
that's like cheap.
Yeah, it just passively increases your like weapon damage by like 13%. You don't use it unless there's Daedra. Then it actually hits pretty hard. But otherwise, you don't use it.
I still like Paul.
Okay. Well, we kind of got off a little sidetrack there, but I thought it was kind of funny. So, yeah, there we go, guys. The Battlemaster corner, Daedric Monk. So, I guess they're kind of stepping in one direction, which is Elder Staves Online. I don't think anyone uses Meteor. Like, I saw it on the bar. I'm like, who uses that? I don't know. All right. We're going to move on to our next bit of news, which is actually several little bits of news. This week, or since our last patch, 1.5.3 dropped, or sort of dropped. So, yeah. When 1.5.3 dropped, I guess maybe some of you guys may have been aware that there was a slight issue when the patch actually launched, where it didn't actually launch as it was supposed to, which was kind of neat because they did come on the official forums and talk about it in the fact that it was only applied partially, and they actually went into, I'm trying to find, there it is. I don't know why I'm on page 2. What exactly happened? They actually went through and talked about what happened with the patch, and they said every new fix, feature, or improvement in an update or incremental patch runs through several stages from development to live. They start in small development environments and go through several staging and verification servers where they are gathered and ready for release to the live servers. During the last step of the process, today's patch encountered a problem where it unintentionally reverted back to last known good version instead of proceeding with today's patch. We've since fixed that issue, but it resulted in a slightly older version of the patch going live, which didn't contain many of the fixes listed in the patch notes. I thought this was actually kind of cool that they brought this up in general. I mean, yeah, it is kind of weird that the patch failed, but
I don't think I've ever seen that happen before in any MMO I've ever played.
They probably did, but they just didn't tell you.
Well,
oh, you know what? Good point.
No, they probably didn't tell you our famous one that you always talk about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I guess I know. Yes.
Maple Story. What did they do when a patch was wrong? They just rolled everyone back.
Yeah, anytime that a patch dropped in Maple Story, you were guaranteed to not play for a week because it was that bad.
It would come out and they would literally just roll. You would play and they would roll you back.
Yeah, people would stay up and they would play for days, and then on the third day they would roll you back.
Is that another one of your like Korean MMOs that you love?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Right. So there's that. Did you have to like spend $30 to get the current patch, or?
No, it's completely free.
Oh yeah, it's completely free. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's except for the pay-to-win shop. Other than that.
Oh yeah, I love pay-to-win. That's
pay-to-win is great.
Yeah,
but that's one of those things where when something bad like that happens, other games just roll you back.
Yeah.
These are, or might not even say anything. These guys went through and decided they needed to tell us exactly what had happened because we got upgraded, but not every patch note that they said actually, came out. So that was really neat. I'd like to see that they actually went through and gave an explanation. It's just, they just show more about this.
The company as a whole. Yeah,
that they're interacting, like they're willing to talk about what's going on. I mean, Blizzard wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. So yeah, that is exactly what happened with patch 1.3 and why there was some really weird stuff going on. Deltia, did you run into any weird bugs during 1.53? I did.
I always do, but I'm not going to talk about them. It's just, okay. Yeah, there's 1,000 bugs, but
I'm going to talk about one that I had fun with. So, looking up at my experience bar, you have gained 1.5 million experience. 1.4 million experience needed to level. Huh, alright, kill a mob. Veteran rank gained. Revert back to 4. Oh, that's weird. Kill another mob. Veteran rank gained. Revert back to 4. That was fun. I liked it. That happened to me for a while because I think Kipster and I were doing Spell Scar and he's like, "Oh, you should be close to level." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm so close." Killed something. Hey, I hit VR. Wait a minute, I'm VR4 still. And every time we killed something after that, it kept reverting back. So that was kind of weird. And also, for those of you who probably didn't notice, there's still another bug with the leveling experience. It's graphical only, but they reduced the amount of experience needed to gain a veteran rank from like 1.4 million experience to 1 million flat. However, if you look at your experience bar, it says you need 4 million to level. But you will actually level after you gain 1 million. So, I know Thais was over here. I'm like, I'm so close to level. And she looked at my bar. She's like, you're nowhere near close. I'm like, no, I am. Trust me. That was funny. So, yeah, that's what happened with 1.5.3. They did come out with 1.5.4 this week as well with an emergency patch on Thursday. So that was pretty cool. Most of which they fixed issues such as weapon swapping, removing from stealth. They did do a nerf of experience, which I said from 1.4 to 4 million, which is really neat. And yeah, that's it.
Lovely.
Indeed. Does anyone have anything they want to say about this before we...
Well, yeah, I mean, the failed patches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start my rant here a little bit.
Okay.
So I don't know if this directly applies. I was trying to think of an analogy for kind of the gamer world. Now, this isn't exactly, the best opinion or people that think it's, the most likely. We pay for a game. Yes, the developers work on things. And at that cost, we expect things to happen, right? So what happened? We wanted 4 to 6 week content. We got it. Well, we got a little bit of buggy content. There was a article on MMORPG that kind of summarized that Elder Scrolls may want to slow down their updates. And I actually agree with them. I think make it a little more polished. We have a lot of things in the game right now that are worth doing daily. I think it might be wise for them to slow down a little bit. Maybe make 6 to 8 weeks. I really think the content is there right now. But what needs to happen is the polish and no game-breaking things. So us as a gamers demanded that. We got it. And that's how it worked. Another thing that we wanted to happen is we wanted the champion system. We didn't want the veteran point experience level thing happen. Well, we got it. But we have to understand that it's not easy to implement that stuff overnight. And they did screw up. They admitted it, which is a +1 in my opinion. Because as a man, as a woman, as an adult, if you admit you're wrong, I can deal with that. If I stand in the red circle and I cause a wipe for my team and I blame it on someone else, hey, I'm not going to deal with that person. But if I say, you know what, I screwed up, sorry guys, boom, we're good to go. Let's move on. So I think that, I always talk about like little analogies. In the 70s, I wasn't around then, but there was an oil crisis. And people wanted cars that, had better gas mileage. So what happened? Well, the manufacturers changed. They made cars with better gas mileage, but they sacrificed horsepower. So what did people want? Well, where's all my horsepower? Well, you can't have a car that has tons of horsepower and that's fuel efficient. So with that being said, how does that analogy fit into this? I think it is kind of like one of those things where we demanded something and wanted it overnight, and we got it, except that it's going to take time for them to get it right. So, am I excusing them for making a buggy patch? No, I think that was a mistake. I think they need to get it fixed. But I can accept the fact that they admitted it, and they're working on fixing it. And so, I'll give them a pass on that. Because they are doing what we wanted them to do. Whether it's going to be right the first time or not, I appreciate their sincerity. So I do feel for the people that could not get past the level, the level that they were trying to get to. Due to the Reaper's Mark bug quest. That's really unfortunate. That's pretty much unacceptable. They needed to have a game manager in there moving people along or something. Because something that blocks your progress, I'll quit a game. I will quit a game over something like that. And a lot of people will too. So while I can excuse some stuff, I think that's actually unexcusable. Other than that though, it's going to be buggy. Every game's buggy. How's Warlord or Dremlore or whatever the hell the game's called going?
Not very good, actually.
Right. So everyone bangs on this game. It's like a buggy piece of crap. Blah, 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 blah. How's that game doing? How's that game doing with 8 million subscribers? How's that game doing with billions of dollars in Activision and Blizzard behind them? How's it doing? It's hard. It's complicated, people. I can't draw a stick figure, let alone code for a game. And all I'm trying to say is, give them a break. You know, they screwed up. They admitted it. We're adults. Let's move on and come together as a community. I think they do listen to us and what we like and what we don't like. So keep telling them, XP screwed up. Let's get it fixed. It's supposed to be easier level, not harder. And so what did I do? One more thing. I set my character down. I was going to do a leveling guide for my Templar. I couldn't do it. I couldn't level. So I said, screw it. I'm going to move on to the Nightblade. Now, I know not everyone has enough time or that option to do that sort of thing, but, you know, I adapted and made it work.
Okay. I will say this, though. Even though you couldn't gain your level, you still gained experience. So by the time I could level, I was like 20% into the next level, which was kind of funny.
Now, I'm Dory. I have the memory of Dory. And I think when he started his rant, he said, I think that they should slow down on the patches. Is that what he said? Okay. I have to... It's the only part that I disagree with, because this is the only time a patch has gone this bad. And not everything is perfect all the time. Nothing can be perfect all the time. It's impossible. And this is the one time they, like, really messed up, and they apologized, and if they want to keep pushing content out like this, I totally agree with them. That if this is what they want to do, definitely do it. They don't necessarily need to test more or make sure it's bug-free, because, like I just said, nothing is perfect all the time.
You know, and I actually disagree with Deltia on this one as well. It's not all their fault. The onus is on us to get in there on the PTS and test. This patch that went bad, which 1.4 was a fix for stuff that should have been fixed on the PTS. I really wish they would release metrics on the amount of players, like even a percentage, to show how few people jump on the PTS. It's a lot of it, I still believe, is our fault.
Well, and I disagree with that to some extent. I would like them to give an incentive to test. I mean, basically the incentive has always been you get to see and play the content earlier. Well, I don't think that's enough, honestly. You know, if you're gonna test and submit bug reports and spend your time and money on your $15 sub, I don't know. If you spend 20 hours in there or something, give us a free sub or, you know, something. I don't know what the solution is, but we're human beings. We want incentives to do stuff that it's not going to benefit our character on live. It's true, right? It's true. So why did I get on City of Ash? I got on City of Ash because I wanted to be the first one to post a video on YouTube about it. I'll be completely honest with you. I wanted to see it first. I wanted to rant and rave about it. That was my incentive. If that incentive wasn't there, would I have got on and submit a bug report? Probably not.
Okay. No, I'm fine with the type of incentivizing, because I really think they I think that'd be a good thing. Like, I think it should be number of hours and stuff you've spent on the PTS, or number of patches, I guess I should say, and give you specific rewards. I don't know what it could be. It could be anything, even little cosmetic rewards or titles, or people will go on just for that. But the problem is not enough people are on testing the PTS. And this is coming from, I work in an IT environment, specifically with a Citrix type environment, where I release and push out different versions of a virtual desktop for people to get on and play with. But no one wants to be in my beta group because they're like, oh, I don't have time to beta test this or whatever. I'm like, well, fine, but if I can't find every bug myself. I can try, but I don't do everything you guys do. I mean, we'll play it as I will get on and do what I need to as intended, but just given the nature of what I do, I don't go into the same programs you do on this desktop, as an analogy. I don't do all that. If it opens, it's good for me. You guys need to get on there and test it, or else when I push it to live, because it's tested to the best of what I'm able to do by myself, because you wouldn't give a little bit of your time to beta test to make sure it was ready. When it goes out, you'll have to deal with it. And I'm still on it that, yeah, developers need to fix it, but with a game this large, I'm sorry, when you walk into this one specific spot at this one specific time, and it freezes your game, I'm sorry, but not every developer is going to walk through there. Or something like even with the repentance bug, that's something simple. Not everyone puts that on their bar, and it was only affecting people who had it on their bar. You know what I mean? Things like that. When one ability breaks or whatever the case may be, how are we going to be able to actually, go on there and expect it to be perfect if we don't go on and test? Game is too large to not be tested. So when bugs or patches come out that are buggy, you need to look at yourself and go, why did I not jump on the PTS and play around for a bit? Give it a couple hours on a PTS and see what happens. So yeah, that's kind of what I feel about that. So, Thais, you have anything you want to say on that?
No, I'm one of those people that doesn't play on the PTS because I don't think it's worth my time. I know it's horrible to say, but I don't.
Why? Tell me why you don't think it's worth your time.
Because why would I want to play on the PTS when I can play on my real character and actually accomplish things that matter?
Okay. I think that's the mentality a lot of people have. But then those lot of people, the people like you, don't go in the PTS. You only have yourself to blame for when patches come out buggy.
I don't.
And I'm not saying, yeah, you're not.
I'm one of those people where I don't care if it comes out buggy. Tell them what the bugs are and they'll fix it. I do not mind bugs. Like when we were talking about MapleStory, when everyone else was complaining that they couldn't play for a week, I was the person like, yeah, let them fix it. It's whatever. We know what's going to happen. There's going to be some bugs because nothing is perfect all the time.
Okay. Well, okay. But see, that's the problem is people don't have that mentality. They don't get on the PTS. They don't test. And then when something comes out buggy, they're like, why didn't you fix this when it was on the PTS? Well, because they didn't know it was there because no one reported it to
Well,
them.
those are the crap hole players that people wish would just die in a genocide.
Yeah, but the problem is that's
Oh my
enough of the
God.
player base to be most of it.
You really just said that out loud.
Yeah,
That happened?
That did
Did
happen.
that really just happen?
yeah, that did happen.
Thais went genocide. A genocide
You know, for
comment.
being such
All
a
right.
hippie, she's more aggressive than most of us.
Oh my God, she went genocide comment on us. That's new. That's new
That
for
is-
Thais. All right.
It is. So, yeah.
Just how I feel on the inside.
So I like their 4 to 6 week schedule. I think it gives us stuff to talk about on the podcast. Gives us something to look forward to. It's like I even said, which we'll get into, Deltia, when we were talking about this, we were deciding what we want to talk about for the discussion topic. And the reason why we picked what it was because I looked at the calendar and went, well, this should be coming up soon. You know what I mean? Like, because they are so good with the schedule, I really think it's on us. And I mean, excuse me, Matt fired. She's laughing over here. I'm wondering what she's laughing about.
Her genocide comment still probably.
Genocide comment. Yeah. Yeah, quite the rage.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue. I'll laugh over
Man,
here.
between the introduction and her genocidal rant going on, I don't. This
She's
is
going.
just Thais.
She's going hard in the paint today.
I know. Man, we look like a bunch of filthy casuals compared to her at this point.
Nothing beats my pack up your ovaries
Pack
comment.
up your ovaries.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
to
right.
me, wasn't it?
No, that was to both of
That
you
was to both
day.
of us because
Oh,
we were
damn
getting a
it.
little mushy over how great the community and the developers were.
Oh yeah, we were about to cry on the
Yeah,
show
we were
again
about to cry
for
and
the
hug each
second time.
other and-
Yep. And I'm over here shaking my head.
Yeah.
The use is like more manly than we are. Is that bad?
That is pretty bad.
I'm the man of the show. Awesome. I'm totally okay with that. I'm the man of the show, but I'm also the person here growing another human being. How funny is that?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say growing a pair. I was like, that would
Growing a pair.
That would be good.
Possibly if it's a boy. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, see, that could work.
There you
yeah,
go.
There you go.
Well, all right. Again, off topic, but kind of interesting. So, I still agree. They need more patches, but it's on us to test it. It really is. So, yeah. All right. Anyone have anything else they want to say about anything that we covered in the game news before we move on?
Are we going to get to forward camps, or is that in this section?
I think we're going to talk about it in this section a little bit.
Okay.
Because it's kind of a rumor-ish, which would probably come in Update 6. So,
Okay.
Speaking of Update 6, that is what our Elder Scrolls discussion topic is going to be. Please note that this is speculation only. None of this is confirmed. This is us talking about Update 6.
So this is
Because
confirmed, right?
It is confirmed. It's gospel truth right now, coming from Tales of Tamriel, the gospel truth of Update 6.
Now I have to watch the Hercules cartoon.
The gospel truth. Oh, see, that would have been... You know how you hate bumpers? That would have been a perfect bumper for this. Anyway, Update 6 speculation. What we think Update 6 is going to contain. First off, Thais, I'm going to ask you this first. When do you think they're going to give us a teaser for Update 6?
I am so the worst person to ask because I have no concept of time.
I know.
I don't even know when
Like
Update
Arkham.
5 happened.
2 weeks ago.
Well, then
Do you
I
live
guess
in Jamaica, Yaman?
Close enough. She's like one of those Argonians. That one quest where they're talking about Argonian timelines.
Have,
They're like,
have you guys ever been to Jamaica?
No, but I lived in Puerto Rico for a while, and Puerto
Oh
Rico's
my
just as bad.
Yeah, you go there, there's no clocks. It's like, do you guys like not care about? No, man, we're good. It's like, well, no wonder you're in poverty.
I went there with a group of people. I was an actual
Sorry, I had to say
delegate.
that. I had to say that.
I
You're
was
a
delegate, and we
Thais,
were
you're
going-
diplomatic when you're talking about genocide? Who the hell hired you?
Well, that's why I went to Puerto Rico. I was a delegate.
No.
We got to meet like
Hitler's
the leader,
delegate,
like
maybe.
the
No.
ruler of the country.
This
and
is
we
a
were supposed
joke.
to meet at
You're-
noon.
you're
I
trolling.
didn't roll in there till 2:30. Everyone else was angry. I'm like, what's up? You know,
Thais.
it's time. It's cool.
You were delegate of what?
For the FFA,
Wow. So you met the...
yes,
Oh my-
of Puerto Rico.
so Thais is kind of a big deal.
kind of a big
Kind
deal.
of a big deal.
You married kind of a big deal. Why'd you marry Ag again?
Because actually the reason I married him is because he has blue eyes and blonde hair.
And then
Which
you
is
gotta,
why it fits for genocide. you know?
Oh my god! Oh, okay, we gotta move off. People are leaving the chat room.
Speculation.
People
Alright,
are leaving the chat room this minute.
Yeah, we're gonna be crazy. Deltia, give us a timeline for when you think you're gonna tease us out Update 6.
A tease this week, I think, on my stream.
On
Which-
your stream?
Yeah, they're coming out on my stream this week, by the way. Segue too, but so yeah, I'll look for that. It has to be this week, I think. Really, they have to solve the problems with 1.5 and the XP first. Once that gets solved, I think no problem. It's gonna be soon. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, the XP stuff is technically solved other than the weird 4 million air, which...
Yeah, what I'm saying is that took a week to get that solved. You know?
Yeah, well, actually, they had that within a couple days. Like 2 days or something. Like, they did it on a Thursday, and the patch came out Tuesday.
Well, you say that, but I mean...
I guess. All right. Well, I think it'll be this week as well, because based on the current timeline with 2 weeks ago, 1.5 dropped, and now there's a week of silence, which there always is, and then normally it's the week after that or the week following that they tease you out and they start loading the PTS with the new patch. So let's go ahead and start off one thing first. Let's talk about forward camps, because we were going to talk about that. This is, again, speculation, but we have heard that forward camps, while they were removed from the game, now it is not a permanent removal, that they are looking to redo forward camps in concept and bring them back in a future patch. And I think probably it'll be Update 6 if they bring it back. So, Deltia.
Hey?
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you think?
Well, I don't really PvP anymore, so I'm probably not the guy to ask on this. You know, if I want to play a horse racing simulator game, I'll do it, and that's what PvP feels like to me. I think there's a good crowd that really likes that, which is not me, that's to say the least. But I think people are adapting to the change, and a lot of people are liking it, turning around, coming on it. I think if they release Imperial City in 1.6 and give us a fast, quick pace PvP experience, I would love them to leave Cyrodiil alone, because I think it's a really unique PvP system. I don't care for it, but I really think a lot of people do and are really enjoying the fact that it's really tactical now, and you need a group and you need coordination. But for me and the solo kind of players, I want to solo YOLO. I want to go in there, I want to die, come back in 5 seconds, die again, and then 10 minutes it's over, I go back to doing whatever I want. And I think there needs to be an aspect of that. You know, when I log in now, what do I want to do? Do I want to do I want to transfer to a server, wait in 30-minute queue, get in a server, die, ride my horseback, or do I want to get a group of 4 friends, go do a dungeon and get fat loots? I'm getting loots, right? I mean, that's what I'm doing. And, you know, this week I joined Tamriel Foundry and been doing a lot of, I don't know, Veteran Dragonstar Arena and stuff, and I realize why PvE is so fun in this game. It's so much, it's like PvP. It's chaotic, it's fast, it's you can't control everything. Where a lot of the typical PvE, you know, this boss is going to spawn here, the tank takes everything, this is what happens, we just have to execute. It's a lot more chaotic, there's a lot more RNG, and I know the really at-heart PvEers probably hate that, but for me, it gives me that PvP feel with being able to get my group and the people that I want to bring with me in. So for me, I don't have a need to go into Cyrodiil. Really, my only need to go into Cyrodiil is getting my Alliance rank 6 up for like my healer setup and stuff. Other than that, I just don't enjoy it. I don't see the character progression being valuable. Only one person gets Emperor, so even that's a small chance of happening, and you have to spend a lot of time doing it. So for me, there's no character progression. I've got all the gear that I want. What's the point, right?
Okay. Thais, what do you think? What do you think is going to come in Update 6? And I actually have something I want to talk about with Deltia then.
I'm not good at speculation. All I can say is I know what I would like to see
What would
in
you
the
like?
future.
That's fine. It's speculation. What would you like to see for Update 6?
Horse racing.
Patch?
In the
Horse racing?
future, I would love to see a type of battlegrounds.
Yep.
I'm not a huge PvPer, but when I played WoW, the one type of PvP that I loved, even though I'm a horrible PvPer,
You liked
was
arenas?
battlegrounds.
You liked arenas?
No.
Oh, you're talking about objective-based, like 8v8 type stuff.
Yeah, like King of the Hill,
Yeah,
Capture
yeah.
the Flag, things
Yeah,
like that.
that's a lot of fun.
Like those I enjoyed because it gave you like enough of an objective for me to
Yeah.
feel like it was PvE/PvP, and a lot of times it was a lot of fun. Like I really enjoyed the battleground type. Arena was just too hardcore for me. I couldn't do it. I couldn't concentrate enough.
Yeah,
for
it's, in team deathmatch too. It's fun, but it's like you said, there's not enough objective, you know.
And a lot of the battlegrounds in WoW, like more and more, it kept making them more and more interesting. There was tons to choose from. I feel like battlegrounds would really. It would breathe a little bit more life into the PvP aspect of this game because there's so much you can do when it comes to the PvP.
And I will say this to add on to this, and I talked to Thais a little bit about it. This game has a perfect setting for battlegrounds.
Of
Oblivion?
lore. Yeah, you're talking about the best setting.
Yeah, well, and the thing they can do with Oblivion is because it's built into the lore, Oblivion's always fluctuating. They can make a perfectly, like, you know, triangular map and say, yeah, it's just a pocket of Oblivion that you're fighting over a Daedric relic, and that's like your capture flag. Capture, bring it back to your base, score a point. Lore-wise, that would fit without breaking, you know, you don't need a specific part of Tamriel that people are like, well, great, now I can't visit it. Use the Daedric realms. They're pretty much infinite, and you can create till your heart's content. And there's enough variety in the different types of realms, Cold Harbor, the awesome lava zone of the Deadlands, Quagmire. There's a lot you could do to make really unique and fun battleground maps that would make no logical sense in the real world, the match lore, but you could make them fair. You know, like, why would there be 3 bridges over a chasm if not for balance purpose? But you could in Oblivion because it's constantly fluctuating.
I mean, lore's broken in every single game, and what's lore in Elder Scrolls? I mean, it changes every game. So the whole, like, can you make it lore-friendly argument, I think, is kind of outdated, to be honest with you, because the lore is speculative.
You're talking to a lore nut here, dude. I will slap you down.
The lore is speculative. It is. It changes over time, just like that's the part you like.
Okay, the lore to the bit of it is, but the land itself isn't.
Okay, the land isn't, but like you said, there's like worlds. There's a plane. You can make it
Yeah, the
anywhere
different
you go.
planes of existence, great. But within Tamriel itself, you know, like when they have Cyrodiil, if they talked about battlegrounds, I know one of the first concept was, what about the rest of Cyrodiil that's not being used? That could be a ever infinite battleground. I would much rather see that as a PvE zone or maybe even an open world PvP zone where you can go in like Cyrodiil.
There's tons of ways to make battlegrounds lore friendly. Like this world is vast. There's tons of lore. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah, okay. I agree with lore, but Deltia will agree with this. The thing that's fun about battlegrounds is the fact that they're balanced and even. Otherwise, you'll get, if you had to stick to the layout of the world in talking about Nirn and Tamriel, you are stuck within the structures that are previously there. what happened with Ultric Valley in Warcraft? Alliance had the objective or the benefit because of where they were positioned. They sucked in PvP, but they actually people like Horde would not play Ultric Valley because of where they were positioned on the map. It wasn't a fair battleground.
You're kidding, right?
Nope.
Horde always won.
Well, that's
Ultric
because where all the PvPers went. We're on Horde. But actually, when the thing was first, people wouldn't queue for Ultric Valley because it was unbalanced.
Yeah, I mean, they did that in every war zone. You need to make, or in Star Wars anyways, you need to make the war zones random, so you can't pick which ones. You have to be good at every single one type thing. Yeah. But yeah, like Thais said, I like that PvP actually is my favorite type. I'm pretty good at arenas just because that's kind of my meathead mentality. But realistically, having an objective where there's 4 people, that's just a blast because it is exactly what you said. It feels tactical, but yet not enough where numbers matter. And yet it feels like you have to know the PvP mechanics because you have to block, dodge, roll, and CC. It's just enough of the right thing. I totally agree with you. They need that. Okay. Or dueling. Dueling, oh my god. I don't know about the lore as you do, but this would be the coolest dueling game, I think, in existence. If you could make dueling happen, like in a tournament and stuff like that, it would just be fantastic.
Dueling doesn't have anything to do with lore in any way. That happens all the time. But, I mean, yeah, that I think will come once they have justice system.
I think it's a dumb idea. What does that prove? Like, why would the game need you to be able to just duel anybody in the world?
Test builds.
But testing
it's fun.
skills on other players is different than testing it on the environment.
Thais, have you ever did like a target dummy or a test dummy on your builds?
Nope.
Okay, have you
I have, because, you know...
have you ever played DPS at a high level?
Nope.
Okay.
There's a reason why, dude. Trust me. You're not getting anywhere with this
The only
streak.
game I've ever played a DPS and done well was Final Fantasy XIV. But I've never gone near a test dummy. I don't see the point. You either do good damage or you don't.
And then you have to change your build.
Then why do you need to test the numbers?
That's like you don't know.
That's like saying that if you're sick, and why would I test my blood if I'm sick? Either I'm sick or I'm not.
Hey, I'll buy that car without test driving it. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm either
the car or you don't.
Yeah, why would I get my?
It could be a lemon.
Why would I get my blood pressure checked?
You drive off the lot and the engine explodes.
It just doesn't make sense to me to stand there for hours whacking a dummy when you can go into a dungeon and if the mob dies,
you don't have to.
Good.
You don't have to do it.
Carried by the other people, though.
There's no
notice how bad you are until you get near the end.
Or someone says, "Hey, you suck," and you go, "Okay, maybe I just need better gear."
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it.
We're going to talk about Update 6 because that's a lost ship.
Yeah, I'm a horrible DPS. I'm a terrible DPS.
Okay. All right, so I agree with Deltia that Imperial City is going to be next up for Update 6. Now, here's a question for you, Deltia. You say, I don't think Imperial City will bring the small-scale PvP. And you know why? Because of how the campaigns currently are. Because how it is each campaign, when you select a campaign and go in, maybe except for maybe the main one, but most people who want a PvE in there aren't going to go to the main campaign. They're going to go to their buff campaign because how it's supposed to work, as long as you're holding your home keeps, you have access. Well, what happens on the buff campaigns? Your faction takes everything and no one takes it. So you're going to go into the Imperial City on your buff campaign to do things. There's not going to be any PvPers in it. Because they can't get into it unless they own their home keep. I really don't think Imperial City will bring the small scale, other than like on Thornblade, which is active. But if you have that intention of going in and actually PvEing, not ganking people in there, you're going to go to your buff campaign. That's just how I see it's going to happen. Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, the buff camp, take the buffs away. Either everyone gets them or they don't. Stop.
I don't think the buffs should be there at all, or they should be minuscule, like not affect combat. They should be like 2% gold gain or something.
Everyone should get them, or you only get them when you're in there. I mean, that's put it. You only get them when you're in there because otherwise
buffs are broken currently. Because that's what it is. That's what Imperial City will be down to. I'm gonna go to the Ebonheart Pact buff campaign, whatever Azura's Star, I think that's what it is. And that's where I'm going to do my Imperial City because we're always going to own it. You know, that's what's going to happen. AD's going to go to whatever their buff campaign is, and DC's going to go to whatever theirs is. What is theirs, like Crossius or something dumb like that? I don't remember. But that's what the Imperial City is going to happen with the way the buffs are currently. They have to change the way the buffs are before Imperial City becomes that you may get ganked, because no one's going to be able to get into the Imperial City on the Ebonheart Pact buff campaign or the AD buff campaign, other than those characters. So, Thais, you have anything you want to throw in there?
Nope.
No? Okay. So, you want to see what again for Update 6?
Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds? Okay. And Deltia and I are believing it's going to be Imperial City as the update. Now, here's one other thing I guess we're going to talk about, and I know I mentioned it, Deltia, in pre-show, and while he can utter something similar to what he says, he can't utter the exact wording, or else I'll have to bleep it out. They did talk on ESO Live the complete overhaul of skills. In Update 5, they updated a couple of the skill lines, specifically bow and two-handed, and they talked on ESO Live that in Update 6, they are doing all the skills. They are going through and doing an overhaul of all the skills in the game for Update 6. Deltia is probably burning, so I'm going to ask Thais what she thinks first.
About them redoing all the skills?
Mm-hmm.
I only use about 5 skills, so I'm okay with that.
So as long as they don't touch those
as long
5?
as I don't touch them 5, maybe 6 skills, I don't know, give or take. Let's see, on both my bars. I use about 8 skills.
Yeah, but when you double up on a skill, you can't count that. So Sparky does not count as 2 spells.
No, I'm not counting them as double. I use about 8 skills. That's it. So as long as they don't touch
I
them,
use
8
about
skills,
8 skills every about 10 minutes.
I know. I sit over here and I stare at you switching out skills, and it frustrates me to my core. Just makes me cringe. So as long as they leave my 8 core skills alone, I'm good.
Winown Stealth in chat says he knows that the provisioning revamp is coming in Update 6 as well. So, I don't know. I kind of like the provisioning as it is. I like complicated crafting. I think they need to go, instead of taking away mats, they just need to make different materials more worthwhile, because you stop using them eventually. I think they should change that. You should use even like the stupid mud crab meat should be used in a high-end recipe in some extent. I don't know. All right, Deltia, let's go ahead and I'm going to let you loose on this one. Overhaul of skills. Go for it, my good man.
That's terrible. Stop. Stop. What are you talking about? Overhaul of skills? You just got the damn thing balanced where stamina's starting to hit like a truck and magic's doing great. Leave it alone. God, what's up with all this change? I sound like a 7-year-old gamer where I'm like, I am afraid of change. I do, but...
Or a 70-year-old gamer.
Or a 7-year-old gamer, yeah. I get my naps at 2 o'clock and no one's going to interrupt that schedule. I mean, I don't know. Like, why are we messing with it? I mean, what's wrong with the skills? Like, we're adding more alliance skills. We're adding this. Can we just leave them alone? I think they're awesome. Mess with the set bonuses. Mess with the gear. Have that do unique, cool stuff. Leave the skill. You're going to screw it up. You're going to screw it up. Guarantee it. And I'm going to find a way to screw it up for you. Believe me, I'm going to find a skill that's overpowered that can pull way more DPS than you anticipated or even thought in your wildest dreams. Or make it so no one can kill me on PvP. There will be something that you missed. There will be something screwed up, and it will break the game probably. It'll break it for a while. These developers are really good at getting it fixed, but I mean, is the balance that much of a problem right now? I don't think so. Bow hits like a truck. I can do pretty good damage on my bow. I can actually do more damage on my bow as a Nightblade than I can with my Destruction Staff. But I can't drop as many ultimates and or self-heals. So I really think Stamina's at a great point. I saw a Templar two-hander pull 1,000 DPS on a single target boss. I've never seen that before. I can't do it. He did it. I don't know how, but there was no secrets. He was using potions, and 1,000 DPS on a two-hander, that's pretty good. Leave it. Don't mess with it, please. I don't know why we gotta mess with this stuff. It's the game's balance, right? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I still don't think stamina is where destruction is. Because, yeah, 1,000 damage on a Templar two-hander, that is a lot better than it was. But what is the average single target damage from a caster? Like 1,500?
No. Average, no. If single target, 1,500, you're talking about some of the best DPSers in the world.
Sure.
And then it changes. If you're like in a trials group, I mean, you're going to have more buffs, you're going to have more debuffs, you're going to have higher DPS. If you're in a 4-man group, you're talking 1,000, 1,100 is really solid.
Okay. I don't know. There's still certain spell lines and skill lines that just aren't there. The dual wield, I think, does okay. Two-hand, I still think needs love. Not just because I use it, I just literally mean it's still clunky in some areas, such as the Wrecking Blow. Please just take the cast time. I would be fine if you took the stun component away. Do something else. Lower their weapon damage. I don't know.
This is going to be the Wrecking Blow podcast pretty soon.
It is.
Buff Wrecking Blow.
Well, I mean, come on, Zoss. I'm like the only guy who still uses it, so buff it for me. Because I'm like the only two-hander still out there. So
yeah, that's a dying breed. Well, actually, it's extinct.
Yeah, I'm like the last guy still holding the two-handed weapon. Okay? So just make skills for me. Whoever's doing the skills, let's just talk on the phone. Because all the skills are only going to be ever used by me at this point.
I don't know. I'm really happy with the balance so far. I mean, I was testing my bow out, and I was just ripping it. Now, you have to build it a little differently. You have to do the reduced cooldown on potions and basically just chug potions all the time to have infinite stamina. So it's more expensive, but I can literally, as a Nightblade with the passives and alchemy, have 91% crit at all times. Weapon crit. So I can do a lot of damage, but, you know, I go through 100 potions in 20 minutes. But if you're looking at single target DPS, no one can touch my bow with Nightblade.
I don't know. I guess I agree. Bo has gotten a lot of nice love, but I still don't think we passed the point where it's not the Elder Staves online.
Yeah, but they've made huge progress, bro. I mean, every game you know of. Okay, I'm going back to Star Wars because that's kind of like my WoW, if you will.
Sure.
Commandos, for anyone who plays Star Wars, were terrible in PvP for 2 years. I mean, just if you had a commando on your team, people wouldn't group with you. It was that bad. They were that underpowered. Oh, it was just like, nah, sorry, bro. You could be the best in the world, but this guy over here can click 2 buttons and do more damage than you. I mean, it was that type thing. And it took them 2 years to get that solved. So let's give them credit where it's due. They've came a lot. They're not going to do the 3 stat pool. They're not.
Yeah, and as much as I still think it's needed, I will say this: when we were on the PTS, when I had my guy decked out, he was maxed out stamina regain in terms of soft capped, had like 2,200 stamina, etc., etc. Even with dodging, and as long as I made sure I used some heavy attacks once in a while, I didn't run out of stamina for CC blocking, anything like that. I didn't really run out. If you soft cap your stam regain, it comes back fairly quickly.
Well, and let's be honest here, the passives in the medium armor tree are better than the passives in the light armor. If you look at it, you get crit for the amount of medium armor you wear, not only flat amount via 5%. Plus you get weapon power over the other 5-piece set bonus. So the actual armor pieces are really, really good. The problem with meaty armor is, especially in PvP, is that it offers no spell resistance. When everyone's using spells, your defensive sucks. If they made the elude skill a lot better, I don't know how they could do it, maybe reflect some damage or something. I think that tree would be a very viable tree, but the defensives, that's the problem with medium armor that people don't address, is that the defensives are really awful. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fanboy, you know it. I love this game. I think it's getting a really good spot. I'm having fun doing either thing. I just think you're exactly right. At the top tier end stuff, you have to play Magic.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like that's not a good place for the game to be.
Long term, no, it's not.
No, long term, it's like it's not. There should always be a mixture. I mean, in every game, they always they tried to incentivize. In Final Fantasy XIV, they incentivized with the limit break buff, where your limit break for doing your essentially ultimates, a group wide ultimate, was better based on having a diversity of classes, because they had a little bar if it touched every main stat, which required you to have one of every class in the raid, it would go up much faster than if you stack classes. That was their way of nerfing people stacking classes. Because what happened in Warcraft did that constantly. When something got buffed up to the point where it was overpowered, they made their raiders, at least the high end people, roll, and they were stacking
you have to roll alt. Yeah, and that's the problem with this game is the ultimates. Like you have to have a Nightblade. You have to. It's just the ultimate's too powerful. The Veil of Blades, not to have a Nightblades in the serious end content.
You know, and I'm going to say this is maybe kind of controversial. I think they should go ahead and nerf all class ultimates.
No, absolutely not.
Yes,
you have never been more wrong about anything in your life.
They need to go ahead and do that and add more ultimates and utility in other forms.
No.
Yes.
Why?
The ultimate I use is already kind of crappy according to everybody else. Can you leave Paul alone?
Paul.
Atro's good, but not for every situation. But, I mean, that's what makes this game fun, is the ultimates. Like, it makes it... Dropping a standard is cool, right? I mean, that's what a Dragon Knight does. You sacrifice range for a cool ultimate. Don't mess with them, please. I love the ultimates in this game. It makes it unique, fun. I couldn't disagree with you more.
I think he upset everybody in the chat room.
I'm fine with that.
Who? Who upset people?
Me.
I was going
to. And I stand by it, because here's the thing with classes.
Stand by your man.
Stand by it. The problem with ultimates in general, and this goes all of it, is like with you need a Nightblade for Veil Blades. There should never come a time when when you need a class to either make or break your raid.
Come on, bro. Every game has had that happen.
Yeah, no, it has.
That's
not
unrealistic.
A good spot for game. No, that's not, because every game that has done that has then seen that same class get nerfed into the ground the following patch. And what happens to those people on there?
Yeah, but I mean, every game has had that. Like Star Wars, you had to have Marauders or Sentinels to run this one buff. I mean, every game I've ever played has had, you have to bring this guy along. I don't know of a game, unless I'm completely out of my rocker here. But tell me about it. What about your guys' game, Final Fantasy XIV? Come on, tell me. Tell me there's not a class that you don't bring to the battlefield.
Oh, I'm sure there absolutely is.
The only class that you really don't want to bring, again, Ag always...
Is a Templar? A Templar DPS.
He's the underdog.
Yeah, no one likes Dragoon.
Everyone hates Dragoons, and whenever it's time for us to raid, I swear people go, just add egg.
All I'm gonna say is, even on my low end Dragoon, I do more damage than anyone else.
Why does it? So Ag's the guy who plays like the underpowered class.
I do. It seems to be my first love was a Retribution Paladin in BC WoW, where people wouldn't even take me in 5-man dungeons.
And if you had to choose what DPS to bring in Final Fantasy XIV, you would never choose a Dragoon. You would choose everything else.
I
and
like
then if you
my
had
underdog.
no option, you go, just bring him. We'll kill him, and he'll tank the floor for the rest of the fight.
All right, can I talk about something positive?
Yeah.
I mean, this patch is freaking phenomenal, people. I mean, I have never had more fun running dungeons, and that they did something amazing that I don't think a lot of people are giving them credit for. They made the drop sets in these dungeons random, so the armor weight, the trait, it's all random. So you might get this, you might run City of Ash or Crypto Hearts like we're doing right now on the stream, and you might pick up this awesome helm, but it's medium armor. And now you have, a medium armor piece or whatever. They added passives, and they give you reputation for the Undaunted. This patch is amazing. Like, character progression has never been so good in this game. It's so much fun. Like, I almost have all the sets. Speaking of which, I'll be putting that on my site soon with the procs and what they look like and how to get them, how to beat the bosses, all that sort of stuff. They revitalized. People are grouping like never before. People have a reason to group and and they have a city to go call their own. They have a home and a faction, and it's just awesome.
I don't know if I agree about the sets, because any of the new set here, let me try again. You're talking about the Undaunted sets?
Yeah, the drop
out of the chest?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I think that they're broken, because I've never seen a light piece drop that had the light traits, like the light set bonus. There we go. Any piece that I've gotten has been like a medium piece of armor, with.
Have you done a gold key yet?
Yes.
Okay. I have every single set.
I don't think she's talking specifically about the head and shoulder combo. I think she's talking more like the Undaunted Unweaver.
And the
Oh, yeah,
Undaunted.
those only come in medium and light, I think.
Oh, yes,
Well-
but the medium pieces have the set bonus that should be for mages.
Well, this is where I
That's
think the
getting to
set
my
bonus
point.
is messed up.
Wait, what did he say? Say again, Deltia?
That's getting to my point. It has the wrong set bonuses and the wrong trait for what you want, giving you more incentive to run it again and get the right one.
But I've never seen a correct piece drop.
I'm talking about the actual numbered set bonuses as well, where it's like set 1 is 70 stam, and then it's spell critical, and then
you're talking about the 5-piece Undaunted Weaver set.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
weird because they add like a spell critical for the melee set, and then a weapon critical for the.
No one's
casting
using
set.
it.
I don't know. The set bonuses would be awesome if they just switched that third trait around on each one.
But they just I'll never be able to wear the Undaunted sets because I'm not going to wear medium armor. It's absolutely useless for me. It gives me nothing.
Well, I disagree.
I think it's broken. Like, it should be switched.
Well, have you seen the Undaunted passives now? There might be a new meta.
There's one good passive.
Oh, they're both excellent.
There might be a new meta. 5-1-1. Just saying.
Because you get a bonus for, like, you get 1% per type that you're wearing.
You'll get 6% to all your stats. Plus, if you have all the passives of light and medium, it could be a big deal. So, I think they're changing the meta in a good way, and I like it. But
I'm fine with that. I want to wear my heavy shoulders because they look better than all the rest.
But to your point, the one set, I got it like day one. I keep getting it, and I'm like, that's kind of junk. It's like, yeah, it's not useful for a stam build, and it's not useful for a magic build.
Yeah.
But that's the one set that I think is screwed up. I'm focused on the positive, and that's the 2-piece set. Have you seen what they do? Have you seen
the helmet and the shoulders?
The helmet and shoulders.
It is
they are.
absolutely amazing. One has a Dwemer, which I got day one. One shoots a meteor down. One has a web. One basically puts a huge lich on the ground. It blows up in an AoE. These are game-changing. These are so fun to watch and see proc and have everyone geeking over how fun they are. I just love it. Like, I want to get them all. I want to get them in medium. I want to get them in heavy. I just can't stop running them.
Collect them all.
It's like Pokemon. Like, they made this game like more addictive than crack and pizza and M&Ms. I hate them.
But see, I would never use them because it would break the current set that I have. Like, I have my set pieces. Like, I think I have a 5.
You're not a Mig-Maxer, right? I mean,
I'm not. But I planned out my set pieces that I'm wearing now on purpose for the specific set bonuses. So, if I was to wear the helmet and the shoulders, that 2-piece would break what I already have.
It would, but you'd have to balance if it benefit is greater than having that. Because I have my sets planned out too. I'm like 5 Hunding's Rage and 4 Night Mother. I would easily break the 4 Night Mother to get one of those 2 set bonuses. Because then I still get 4% weapon damage, and then I also get the benefits of those special sets. I specifically crafted my gear so that the Night Mother was the shoulder and head, so I could remove those.
Well, guys, I mean, I've done the same thing. I published a guide, and the day later this came out, and now it's all wrong, right? I mean, so believe me, I have to go back to the drawing board, but it changes the meta from running 2 5-pieces or whatever. I like it.
And I will say this for Deltia. One of the best things that I did love about Warcraft was when you raided and they came out with the new tier sets. You're like, please make it something awesome, because the tier sets were fun. You get like, hey, you would actually go for your 2 and your 4 set tier bonuses, because sometimes they suck. But a lot of times that made your DPS. Like on my Templar, one of the set bonuses was it procced a free spell that was my major damage dealer. You know, it's like, yeah. You know, instead of, it was a free damage. You know, like so much % to get free damage. You designed your gear based on those gear sets when they came out. This allows you to get these gear sets and go, oh, that proc is awesome. How do I want to, add it to my set?
Have you guys gotten it yet?
No, we're not that far up.
Well,
Actually,
you
this is
can get
good.
the sets at VR1. Doesn't matter what VR level you are.
I haven't got anything out of it. My gold chest. All I've ever seen is the Unweaver and the Undaunted stuff yet.
Anything
Okay.
that I've gotten out of my chest had stam on it, so I gave it to Ag until we both realized that they were light pieces,
Yeah.
which was absolutely useless.
I've gotten so much, like, people are like, you have to have the developer buff here or something. I mean, like, every day I'm getting pieces. It's great.
I like how they split it up too, where the head drops off the final boss
Yeah.
of the dungeon, and then the shoulders come out of the chest. I think it's
Love it.
That is a fun.
Well, the good thing is you can farm. What the fun part? We ran Wayrest Sewers and what's the other one? The tanking set that's like the end all be all tanking set. We ran that 30 times, and I got the piece that I needed, but I'm waiting on the shoulders, which is a random drop. So it gives me incentive to go in and do the dungeon repeatedly. It gives me incentive to go in and basically do the dailies daily. So they have a good balance of incentives versus just doing one thing over and over.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know. I feel strongly about this update. I'm really happy about it.
All right. Well, does anyone have anything they want to say about the Update 6 speculation before we move on? Thais?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay. Deltia?
Nope.
Okay. I will say, like, I'm excited to see what they do. I love the changes when they release stuff. I do think Imperial City is next, which would be kind of neat. So, yeah. Fun times for Update 6. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to our next section, which is our Tales section, where we talk about our week in-game. And Deltia, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Okay. So basically, the XP thing wasn't as good as we originally anticipated. Kind of, they kind of broke it for a few days. So I had to bench the Templar and pick up the Nightblade, because Tamriel Foundry really needed a strong Nightblade DPS, and I've been working on that for my site and whatnot. So I've been playing that, did a new guide, basically redid my Blademaster build for 1.5, and really, experimented DPS-wise and trying to be a top-notch DPS player in this game, because I hadn't been in the past. I still have a lot of room to improve, so I'm not there yet. But that's really what I spent my time doing. So I ran a lot of dungeons. I leveled my skills. I leveled alchemy. I redid everything. I sat and tested builds and stats and gear, and just the whole week tweak. And then I put it to use. I ran dungeons, I ran Bet DSA, and I just kept trying to improve my build. I looked around on the forums. I asked people what they were doing who were better than me. I asked Kipster what he was doing. And we learned from each other. I didn't know some of the things he was running and why. He didn't know either. And so we only got better talking about it together. And then we ran Bet DSA, I think, a third or fourth time. And so we didn't clear it again. But the last boss, there is some class imbalancing, I will say, as far as tanking goes. It's very noticeable at the very, very high-end game, where Templars and Dragonites can do massive self-healing, or Sorks and Nightblade tanks can't. And yes, people will disagree with me saying that they're as good or whatever. In Trials, I think they are as good, because you're really mostly dependent on your healer, and so you just need to keep up buffs and your armor and whatnot. So Sork and Nightblades are great. In Vet Dragonstar Arena, it's just a different type of gameplay, where you have to heal yourself, and especially that 10th boss. It's hard class imbalance. So we kind of found that out, but I think there's ways around it. I've just never had so much fun PvEing and dying over and over. It's so much fun. I don't get it. It's the chaoticness of it. That Dragonstar Arena, I don't know where those red circles are. I know the boss, when he does this, he's going to do that. But other than that, I don't know when these ads are going to spawn. I don't know when this is going to happen. It's a blast. And so really, I've just been trying to do high-end PvE content and have a lot of fun doing it. So that's my ramble about that.
Okay, cool. I'm a PvEer, so I understand exactly what you mean. I love that kind of stuff. All right. Anything else you want to say for your or your weekend game this week?
Well, I was going to say, as far as what's coming up next on the site, I will be doing Templar. I think I'm going to do a tank, turn the Harvester into a tank, and then also I'm going to do the 2 set bonus pieces and show you what they look like, how to get them, how to beat some of these bosses and whatnot. So remember, Estelden, if you're having trouble with these dungeons, because they are hard. I mean, you were watching us, we're dying a couple times. Visit the site. Estelden has done guides on each of the bosses, so if you're having a problem with one, come visit the site, see how it's done, leave a comment, and if you need help running stuff, whisper me in game. A lot of the time, people who are solo players are finding out they can't do the same sort of solo stuff that they could previously. You're finding that out. So it's unfortunate because we can't play the game 100% the way we want, but it's getting close.
Okay. I'm still waiting for you to make your 2-handed Templar DPS guide. That's my challenge to you. When you can make one that can pull trial-ready damage, I will be impressed.
I can't, but I will want to say 2 things. A couple people in the chat room, when I was Stealth and Obi, talked about 2 things. Number 1, the grouping tool, that needs overhaul. Drastically. The grouping system in this game is terrible. If you're not in a guild with high-end players that want to do these dungeons, you're not doing them. Luckily for me, I'm in a few active guilds, so I have buddies that always run with me. But if you're not in a guild that's willing to be patient and learn with you, you're kind of screwed. 2, Obi said that PvP is a lot of fun. I think why he's having fun is he can get in there and join a group, and it's not so you have to do this one role, and that's all you're tied to. So those 2 things I just wanted to talk about.
Okay. Here's a random question. We won't get into it too much, but I just want to know your thoughts. How do you guys feel about Dungeon Finder being cross-faction? Like when you go into the dungeon, you could be with AD or DC players.
Totally okay with that. It opens up the pool for players so much more.
And Deltia?
Hate it.
Why do you hate it? Because at this point in time, like, would you really know they were AD? You just, when you get into a group, you spawn into the dungeon.
I don't want to see no filthy red guards in my group.
But the problem is, you could have filthy red guards if they bought the game pre-launch anyway.
Yeah.
I sold a bunch of stuff to a Khajiit today on Ebonheart Pact. So, I mean, to me, it wouldn't be that. They would just be players at that point. Like, you wouldn't be able to talk to them outside the dungeon or anything of that nature.
If it allows people to experience the content who otherwise wouldn't, do it. Because right now, unless you're in a super uber guild or have a bunch of active people around, you're not doing it. I'm just lucky that I get people that run dungeons and run achievements with me. And then, a lot of people aren't so lucky. And especially if you're new to this and it's hard, it's hard. Some of these dungeons are hard. And yes, you can see me kind of nuking them with my really good group, but some of us have been doing MMOs for 15 years. So there's a reason I can talk and do this gaming stuff. I've been doing it my whole life. I've been grinding my whole life. But for those who haven't, stick with it. Give it a chance. Let them get the grouping tool fixed. I'll help you as best I can, but give it a chance. It's going to be worth it in the long haul. And you remember my original overreaction to this. I hated it, right? Because, I always overreact. After thinking about it, it's made me a lot better of a player. It really has. I've gotten so much better because before I could just go through and impulse and kill everything in, dirt mode. Well, now I have to use mechanics. Now I have to time CCs. Now I have to, use my stamina. So overall, originally I hated it, but it's making me a much better player now. I know it's been like ranting like the whole episode here, but
I think
should be ranting his whole life.
Yeah, right. I think it's a great idea to do cross-faction, but if they're going to do that with the group finder, don't let it show what faction every player is in.
Okay.
Let it be ambiguous.
Okay. Well, I know it's to a lesser extent, but Final Fantasy does that when you join a group, like a dungeon. Now, again, that's a group matchmaking where it just throws you in and you get ported to the dungeon. This one kind of group. I like the fact that when you're in there, I think it should be like you can't really go anywhere except for the dungeon. But they don't let you see what guild you're in, and you are just literally a player. Yep. They don't let you go, oh, you're in X guild, or
it says you're ungilded.
Ungilded, you have nothing like that. They make it so you're just a player, and I think that would be interesting. Like, you just are a player.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think it would definitely help fill out the... I don't think Ebonheart Pact, Delty and I were talking about this, Ebonheart Pact is, I still believe, more populous than Daggerfall Covenant. He's not as populous as AD because everyone's AD.
I don't see why. They have the worst races.
AD has the best races for casters.
No, I'm not a
yes, since it's Elder Staves Online.
Not a Midmaster. I'm talking about like lore-wise and
2 words, high elf.
Crappy races, like just all 3 of them. Again, just group them all up, put them on a ship, and just sink the ship.
Genocide.
Wow. Now we're doing drowning jokes. Okay.
Yeah, drowning genocide.
I don't know where we can go from here. The show is gonna get
I'm liking this. It's Star Wars. Let the hate fill you. It's great.
Wow, I've never seen a Sith in real life, but this is about as close as it gets.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, I think AD players, because there are larger player base there, probably don't have near as hard of a time as I feel bad for the DC players. Like, I really do. I don't have issues getting dungeon groups. Like, I don't. I ask in guild, and if I went to, freaking A, what is it? Why am I drawing a blank on the name of the Mournhold, where I'll sit out there and I can just be like, yeah, looking for group, and there's people doing it.
Well, until you tell them you're a DPS Templar.
Until I tell them, that's beside the point. I don't tell them that until I'm in the dungeon when they're like, okay, you taking? No, dude. See, it's a great sword. Yeah, no. Besides me having individual problems getting into a group, there's people to do it if you hang out with. But the DC group, I feel bad for those guys because they are the lowest by pretty far.
What bad could actually go wrong to open it up cross-faction? Nothing. As long as you keep it ambiguous, there's no bad that can come.
I see no problem with any of the PvE in general because they've already messed with the faction pride to an extent. I mean, maybe trials are a little different, but as for Group Finder, let it be cross-faction. Then it's easy to find players.
And just throw them into the dungeon.
So...
Pink Latex in chat is saying that DC is always busy, but they have a hard time finding people in EP.
See, I don't know what to say to you, man. I have no issues with EP. Like, none.
That's because you're like a famous podcaster, though.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not. People would avoid me rather than join me at most points.
Deltia, you play on the American server, right?
Yar.
Okay.
Yar? No, those Europeans don't play.
Captain, yeah, I play.
It's the second time he asked, and I thought I answered the first time, but I guess
I'm sorry, yeah, I play North American server, AD faction.
Yeah, so. And Thais and I play North American server, Ebonheart Pact, because Blood for the Pact.
Blood for the Pact.
No one cares.
Right. We
no
even
one cares
have
about you, Deltia.
No, we have a cooler saying. Anyway.
Oh, so, for the Queen's not cool? Okay, that's kind of derpy.
Yeah, yours is derpy. Ours is pretty awesome.
Wait, he's AD?
Yeah, he's AD.
You know I'm AD, Thais. Quit trolling.
I actually thought you were DC. I don't know why. I thought you were DC. I don't know why.
No, he's a Mountain Dew chugging, booger eating kid on AD.
Oh my god.
That's all of AD.
Yeah, AD's terrible as far as the booger eaters, but
there's a lot of them.
I don't PvP anymore, and I don't pug anymore, pretty much, so I'm good, you know.
Darth Malgus.
I am apparently the most hate-filled Argonian on the planet.
We busted out a Darth Malgus comment? That's old Republic school right there.
Wow.
Let's see. Ram16 said Thais makes Darth Malgus seem like a pink bunny.
Wow.
Oh.
All right, Thais, let's talk a little bit about what we did in ESO.
We have to preface this with, it hasn't been a good week for me. My morning sickness is still killing me. So
is mine. It's been acting up.
A lot of time to play. Oh, you have morning sickness too?
Yeah.
Yeah, all day? Because mine's all day.
No, it's just the morning, hence the word morning sickness.
No, well, real morning sickness does not happen in just the morning.
I wouldn't know.
It happens all the time. All day, every day.
All day, every day.
You've been morning sick your whole life.
Morning sick, okay. She might not have played a lot, but I've been on almost constantly.
I let Ag know, I think on Monday, I said to him, it's okay, you can play without me. And that opened up the floodgates to him just to do what?
Yeah, I've seen Ag on a lot.
I do any quests without her, which is fine, but I'm allowed to grind my life away, and that's what I've been doing.
He's already ranked like 8, I'm still 4.
I'm almost VR6.
Yeah.
But I've only been doing Dwemer runes.
See,
That's all.
I was trying to be nice, to let him play without me. I did not think he would take such advantage of it with me and my weakened 6th state.
You're talking about Ag here.
You're talking about a game that I love. I can't sit here and wait for you to be ready. I'm sitting here, I just want to play.
But it's not like I'm like doing something else. I'm laying in bed moaning from pain and nausea.
Ag just disregards that. You're fine. Just
stay quiet. I'm getting.
Shut up! I'm on TeamSpeak.
So yes, we didn't get to play much together this week.
Now, what did I do for you?
What do you in what regard?
Because I was allowed to grind. What did I do?
Oh, that is true. Because I gave him permission to play without me, he did gather almost every single piece of Dwemer.
Really?
She's missing like 2 motifs.
Yes.
Do you have the chest one, Ag, and heavy?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my god, I need that.
So I'm missing only 2 of them.
I farmed the set twice so far, give or take a few. I'm still farming. She's missing 2, and I think I'm missing 4 now from my set. But the first set of Dwemer stuff that I farmed went to her.
He gave them to me. It was very sweet of him because I wasn't able to play.
And she does have bad luck, and I seem to. I get in there and I do a run, and I'm having so much fun with the Dwemer.
I have to pause for a second because I've seen this phrase so many times and I don't understand it. Deltia, what in the world does going ham mean?
I can't say it. Hard as a M. I think you know what the M stands for.
Oh, okay. All right.
It means like you're going crazy or something. It's just kind of a little...
Well, now that makes sense, because when I see Ag going ham, I see him going, like, porkish, and just, like, pigs running everywhere with the little curly tails.
Yeah, pretty much. That's me.
You know, doing, like, baths and crap, and it's not a good image.
It's dirty in those Dwemer runes.
But yes, he was very good and gave me all those motifs. But we were able to play.
Even Kipster's like, he must really love you for giving you all those motifs.
Mm-hmm.
Even Kips was like, yeah, no, I'd tell her, forget you.
We were able to do a couple quests, though. And
before you say that, I do got to give 2 thank yous.
Okay.
To Calro from the guild and Ridge, RIDG3 from the guild, because Ridge has been fantastic. He's been helping me with the motifs, because if I get an extra one, he's like, what else do you need? And I'm like, I'm still missing these chapters. And he's like, oh, here you go. I'll trade you these. He's great. He keeps his eye out for anything that I'm still missing, because I'm building 2 sets for us. He's fantastic. And I also want to thank Calro as well, because he helped me get the Storm Fist costume that I wanted. Because I didn't have a character at level 30 to go farm it. Once you finish the quest, you can't get it again. So I went out there on like my level 12. I couldn't kill anything by myself. So he came out there on his character and helped me farm. Ran around in a circle with me a bunch until I got it. So definitely want to thank him for helping me with that. Because now I can run around in heavy armor while still wearing medium and light. Because I just like, Delta, you'll agree. The heavy armor in this game looks amazing. It just
oh my god. Actually,
tank.
Yeah, I kind of made a mistake. Heavy armor is actually pretty good.
If you're a tank.
If you're a tank, yeah. Actually, some people have made it work in DPS.
Don't tell me that, because I will go heavy armor.
Well, look at what it does for heavy attacks. Look what two-hander needs for heavy attacks. Just gonna say that. Leave it there. But
you were gonna do some theory crafting later, okay?
Yeah, but I made a mistake. Kipster did point out, and I tried it, and it worked. So I'm not always right, and believe me. It happens frequently. I have to admit I'm wrong, but I was wrong about heavy armor.
Regardless, I love the look of heavy armor, but
it looks utterly amazing. It looks utterly amazing, doesn't it?
It does.
What does the Dwemer look like? Is it
It looks sick.
Does it really? Oh, you have to make me one.
Heavy armor looks good in this game because when I first started, my sorcerer was wearing mostly heavy armor because it just looked so good, and you can I can automatically switch it to the Imperial, so the Imperial
The
heavy
Imperial
armor just
armor
looks
is
great.
gorgeous. Nothing beats the Dwemer mask from all of them. They look so cool.
Does
You're
it
just
really?
like, yeah, you look awesome.
Dude, the helms though in this game like look just ridiculous. The two-piece helms.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the gargoyle one, like you see that, you're like, what? That's sick, bro. Sorry.
Yeah. The Dwemer stuff does look really, really cool. But I like heavy armor, but I have to wear medium and light right now for my build, albeit I may talk to him about two-handed, because I do love heavy armor. Anyway, it's one of those things where I still want to wear... So now I'm wearing essentially Nordic heavy armor, the costume to make me... I don't know, I just like the way it looks. So I was happy about that. All right.
Oh, my turn? I forgot what I was going to say.
We were talking about the questing we did this week.
Oh, yeah. Apparently I have another boyfriend in an ESO to add to Jakarn and my beefy buff Argonian.
Wait, which boyfriend is this now?
This is the vampire.
Oh, that's right. Right.
What is his first name? I can't remember.
Was it Veronis or something like that? Verondis?
Verondis.
Yeah.
Verondis. Yes, we were doing his quests since he's really awesome. He's like a vampire, but he's like sweet and gentle on the inside. And I think that's really cool. You want to tell the quest, though, since I don't remember it, because I'm Dory.
Well, see, based on last week, we did work with him a little bit, but now we're kind of making our way up the northern section of Rivenspire. Making our way up. We're actually trying... We found out... We unveiled his memory, found out... And we talked about this last week, but there was a mental block on what happened. We found out the... what happened to the Montclairs in general and why everything is going completely batshit crazy on us.
Bat what? Poopy?
Yeah, I know. I'll edit that.
That's gonna have to be in. Or are you gonna do like? Are you gonna do a Foos Roda in there? Or?
Foos Roda on that one. I know I said it and I'm like crap. Yeah,
you said it, then you went.
Edited out of there. Sorry, everyone. Let that one slip.
Because talking about genocide so much better.
Yeah, right. I think I could even overlook that because everyone would just be so turned off for what she said earlier.
I think I've talked about killing a couple different groups of people today.
I mean, mine's kind of like a drop in the bucket compared to this entire episode.
Well, as Maverick Hunter said, all hail Mistress of Tears.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My little slip up there is nothing near compared to...
You had a nip slip. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Everyone gets a nip slip once in a while, right?
That's what happens. It happens. So, but yeah, we've kind of discovered what exactly was causing them to go crazy. And I guess now we're looking for an alien artifact. But on our way north, we stopped by Fell's Run, which is a little town. We didn't actually go into the town yet because apparently everyone's acting all strange. But we kind of went a little south to a homestead, like a giant manor, and the families all disappeared. You remember that quest?
Oh yeah, no, I remember that quest.
Okay, well then you go ahead.
You're walking on the road and this guy runs up to you and he's like, "Hey, I've been gone for a while and I come back and my fiance's family is just poof gone." And of course we're like, "Yeah, well, bro, we'll help you out. It's no big deal." And we have to search around the homestead and you start finding these little letters in these notes and these diaries about how his fiance, whatever her name is, we'll just call her Paul.
Why is everyone Paul?
I don't know, because it's just the name that I keep thinking of. Well, apparently Paul is hanging out a lot with the one servant who happens to be a female orc. And a lot of the diary entries are from Paul's mother. And Paul's mother is just really, really unsettled by the fact that, her daughter and this orc are getting really, really close for whatever strange reason. And little by little, the guy is just, he's even more concerned because that they're nowhere to be found, and he has no idea why they disappeared. And then up until that point, and I now forget where it goes. Didn't we? Okay, we go into the one house and there's a locked basement. Well, we come to the conclusion that maybe we need to go into this basement because something's a little funny. So we go into the basement, and then didn't it take us to a Daedric realm? Yeah,
the Deadlands. She was summoning Mehrunes Dagon.
The mother was just trying to summon Daedric forces to get rid of the orc instead of firing her because she's a servant? I don't know.
Yeah, see that's really kind of strange, but I love how they do the Daedric realms in here. Like specifically Deadlands, they did well. And I know I complained earlier when the first places of Quagmire, but when I saw Quagmire in its entirety, oh, it was perfect. I loved how they did Quagmire. I was too worried they were just going to recycle a lot of the realms, but they did make it feel unique.
As soon as we walked into the Deadlands, he did say it looks exactly like how it's supposed to be from Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find her laying on the ground, that Paul is laying on the ground, and, you know, the guy runs up and he's so excited to see her because they're completely in love. But we find the orc then, and the orc is the one that's like, it's the mother. She went psycho and she's trying to just kill everybody. We don't know what's going on. And we're walking around with the orc trying to find the parents in this Daedric realm, which I think we should have just left them there to die because it's all their fault anyway. But we do wind up saving them, and we take them out of the realm, and, you know, we're heroes, and
We're totally heroes.
Paul's happy to be with, you know, her betrothed, and we're now left with a decision. And the first decision is whether or not to tell the orc to stay or leave.
I think the first one was whether or not to tell the fiance to stay or leave.
The fiance to stay or leave. Well, we told the fiance to stay because why would he want to leave? That didn't make any sense to me. Like, you just got her back. Why would you want to leave Paul? I mean, really?
Because I think Paul didn't really want him.
No, Paul did want him. But it was the orc that wanted Paul. So then we go back to the orc after telling him to stay, and I felt so bad because the orc's like, you know, if I'm causing trouble, I'll go. And it's like, well, you're just, you know, in love, and it was adorable. But we eventually did say that maybe you should go. You know, strike out on your own. Sad.
You're sad again?
Yeah, no, I'm sad.
Oh. But that's really all we did this week, other than my massive farming of craziness. Goodbye, Penelo. So, yeah. So that was our weekend game. I'll have to get Thais to play a little bit more when she's not sick. Otherwise, next week's gameplay will just be me grinding some more, because that's what I do.
I will do my best.
Because
I have 3 bottles of whipped cream in the fridge, because it seems to be the only thing I can stomach without getting sick.
Okay. She's back.
I hate that cat.
She's such a good kid.
No, she's really
she
not.
is.
No.
I love her.
Yes, I don't know why.
Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next section, which is our dramatic reading. And this is the final week for Shadowfen lore. So how do you feel about that, Thais?
I'm devastated, because Argonians are so amazing, and I love them.
This is the final book in the series, The Ruby Necklace. So, Thais, I guess whenever you're ready, take it away.
Hefting another bale into the loft, Makul felt the pain shoot through his shoulder once more. He rotated his shoulder, shrugging to release the tension. "Thanks for your help," the Argonian trader said. He nodded at the Cuthringi and lumbered away with his cart. For several months, the same trader came to Zook bearing loads of hay for the horses. Makul's brother Hug, before he died, had handled the transactions. He arranged deliveries, unloaded the bales, and made payments. Then the illness struck Hug, a rash that stood out as bright spots against his skin, together with a high fever. Within a week, he was gone. And now, Makul dealt with the trader. If only his muscles didn't hurt so much. Clearly, he lacked the strength of his late brother. He'd need to try harder, though he preferred studying and reading to any physical labor. "I need to check the ledgers anyway," Makul said to himself as he headed into his hut. He'd let the books go during his brother's illness, and the latest delivery should be entered. As he opened the payment register, a slip of paper fluttered to the floor. He recognized his brother's handwriting and picked it up. "Beware the ruby necklace." Makul frowned. They couldn't afford necklaces, much less rubies. What did his brother mean? Shrugging, Makul threw the crumpled note into the brazier beside his desk, draped a cloak over his legs, and settled down to bring their accounts up to date. He felt so cold. That night, Makul saw his reflection in his wife's concerned face. She'd found him, coughing and shivering at his desk. She half carried him to bed. A line of red welts, the telltale rash, encircled his throat. "Rubies," he mumbled, clawing at his skin, as then the Hot Flu claimed its latest victim.
And that ends Shadowfen lore. I guess that's the death of the Kathringi.
The end of the Kathringi?
And, yeah.
I wish they had survived, because they would have been a neat race to play.
See, I think that's the one thing I like about Elder Scrolls. Well, there's a lot of stuff, but because there are so many races that don't exist anymore, like things that we could go back and find, the Dwemer, the ancient dwarves, like they're missing. The Kathringi were wiped out. There are other races like Slode and Maomir. There's a lot of different stuff that you can dig into, and it's really, really cool. All right, we're going to move on to our community spotlight. And first off, Deltia, you have some stuff coming up this week, right?
What was I going to talk about?
Your guides, good sir.
I think I already talked about that with the Templar coming up and the two-piece set. Well, was there something else I was supposed to mention?
I think that was it. Do you have a timeline for them?
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be the guide that's going to be up. I'm also going to have a suggested build to use the two pieces with, whether it's one of mine or something on Tamriel Foundry. So to kind of give you an idea, you know, maybe you should run this as a healer versus just this is the set, have fun with it, you know. So I'll be having those to suggest you as well. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the purpose of these sets. Some of them are better for like a dot-specific medium armor build. Some of them are better for, you know, a typical do damage AoE type thing. So overall, I'm just these I can't say enough good things about these sets. I just love them. Made it so much more fun to play the game. I just love it.
Excellent. All right, we're going to follow up with the final thing I really wanted to mention is ZOS is having a live stream kind of weekend, extended weekend from the dates of November 20th through the 24th. And they will be hosting a bunch of different channels from various different people in the community, including ourselves, Tales of Tamriel, myself, Deltia's Gaming. I think there's some people from Entropy Rising, Aloha is probably going to be there as well. It's going to be a fun week, so stay tuned to the ZOS channel during November 20th through the 24th, and we're gonna have some fun with that. So good times, a lot of fun stuff coming up. Delty, do you know what days? I know they ask you for. Do you know what days yet, or has that not been confirmed?
I do know what days and time. Let me pull up my Google Calendar here.
Okay.
So as far as next week, I'm going to be streaming essentially 2 times. One is going to be on Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be on my stream and also ZOS's stream. They're going to host my channel. They're going to be in the chat room answering questions, having giveaways. And that's at twitch.tv/DeltiasGaming. I think it's on our stream overlay. And that's also going to be on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in the morning as well.
And I myself will be streaming on Saturday, November 22nd at 7 p.m. Eastern. That'll be my stream time. And again, same thing. Developers will be around, community team, etc. So come out and join us. I mean, it'll be a lot of fun. They'll be hosting our channels, and you know, good number of people in the community are getting part of this. So it's exciting. Really is. All right, we're going to move on to the guild corner. First up is Hard Contact. What you got, Deltia?
Not much. I'm just really focused on the other guilds. Like I said, I'm trying to learn this sort of stuff so I can teach other people. I think I've done a good job kind of teaching people dungeon strategies and so forth, but it's time to get in trials and vet mode, a City of Ash and Crypto Hearts. I mean, well, yeah, Crypto Hearts, of course, but Dragonstar Arena, that's where the bread and butter of the hardcore thing is, and that's what makes you really a better player. If you're not into that sort of thing, you don't have to join, but if you want to, you know, maybe come hang out and learn a couple things, give me a holler in game at Deltia.
Okay, excellent. And I guess for us, if anyone's interested in joining the Friends and Family Guild of the Tales of Tamriel podcast, you can contact myself. That's Aggelos, Aggelos, our Tier Eater, Teareatr in-game for an invite. Sit there and chat with us and have a good time. And, of course, our friend Kipster has his own PvE progression guild called the Dragon Guard and is currently accepting any VR-ranked character with serious intention towards endgame PvE content on the Ebonheart Pact. So, yeah, definitely send him a whisper in game if you're at all interested. That's KYPSTER. All right, we're going to move on to our final thoughts because we had no emails or iTunes reviews this week. So sad indeed. All right, so Thais, you want to stop staring at Penelo and giving her the death whispers? Yeah. Final thoughts for the show?
You know, I am just drawing a blank.
That's because you're sitting there giving death daggers.
I'm establishing my dominance against this horrible cat.
Oh.
So I'm staring at her because that's, for some reason, what cats respond to.
She didn't really move. She just sat there and kept looking at
Well, she was blinking. I wasn't.
Oh.
Which means I won.
Which means you won.
I won. Yes.
I see.
That fight, I won.
Okay.
As for the show, it was a great show. I had a lot of fun. You know, talking about just genocide and how awesome Argonians are. It was great.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, I thought it was a great show, even though you broke my thing here.
What did I break?
Because I normally go last.
Okay, well then, Deltia,
No,
how about you? No, we're going to ignore Ag. How did you feel about this show, Deltia?
Oh man, you're gonna have to censor a lot of it. I mean, it's gonna be a high editing.
We're not even releasing this episode.
No,
the whole thing's gotta be trash.
It's gonna be the holiday episode. Speaking of the holidays, what's up with our holiday schedule?
Holiday schedule. I will have to check on that. Let's see here.
Hashtag throw Ag under the bus.
Throwing Ag under the bus, indeed. What? I know we're going up to or down to Philadelphia for Thanksgiving, I believe.
Yes, we need to be there like the 26th for the 27th. My sister's birthday is the 27th.
Okay. Well, then there should be no change for that week, so we should be okay for Thanksgiving, unless you have something, Deltia.
Oh no, you know me. I live for this game.
Yeah. And as for Christmas, maybe something different. I don't know.
Christmas, we might not make it.
I might bring my mic anyway.
No.
Oh, come on.
No, if we're in Philly for Christmas,
no, we're doing podcasts.
No.
I will be hiding in a closet with my mic.
No.
Doing a podcast.
Well, we don't know what you're doing in the closet.
If I have to put my foot down somewhere, this is the line. This is right here is the line. If we're in Philly for Christmas, you can't do the podcast.
There's ways to do it. Technology is there.
No.
Yes. No. We'll leave that up in the air for right now, but
sure, you can leave that up in the air, but I'm telling everyone no. It won't happen.
Deltia, I'm gonna have to run to the store on Christmas for like 2 hours. I'll be back in 2 hours.
Gotta get some cranberry juice or something.
Cranberry juice.
We
got plenty. Take it, throw it out. Nope, we're empty now.
We ain't got no milk. How are we gonna have Christmas without no milk? Be right back.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out.
It won't be happening, but we continue. Go ahead.
That's what she thinks. All right, so yeah. Well, you don't have to be on the show.
You're gonna be there with me.
I know.
No, it's not happening.
I can spare 2 hours.
No. No.
Okay. Delty, what did you think of the show?
I think I've already said it's pretty good.
All right, sorry.
You're asking me 15 questions. It's great. It's great.
It's great.
So how did you feel about the podcast today?
It's terrible.
Oh.
I don't even care. This whole show's just getting thrown out.
It's bad.
All right. I do want to thank all my co-hosts, except for Thais, who made it very difficult for us this entire show.
What?
Pretty much made us have to throw the entire show out.
What? You're the one who cursed on the show.
I know, but you're the one talking about mass genocide.
I said it
Is that bad?
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice.
Maybe more. No, it was a good show. Update 6, I'm excited for. I'm just excited to see what they're going to bring out next. It's always exciting. And, yeah, I'm excited to play the game. Obviously, as you can tell, I've been on almost constantly. Not really doing much. I've explored the same Dwemer runes like a million times. But, yeah, been having a blast doing that. I just love it. It's great. So, I'm excited for the game. Thank you so much, chat room. We had a very active chat room this evening. It was great. Yeah, pretty much telling us in chat to scrap the show and start over. So welcome everyone to episode 42 of... No, I'm just kidding. I do want to thank everyone for listening to the podcast. If you wish to help support the podcast, I don't know why you would at this point, feel free to donate via the PayPal link on our website or tell a friend about us.
Don't tell a friend about us.
Maybe. I don't know. If you wish to contact us with questions, comments, criticisms, hate mail, the website for our show is talesoftamriel.com, or you can email the show at podcast@talesoftamriel.com. You can follow the show on Twitter at Tales of Tamriel, Facebook at facebook.com/talesoftamriel podcast. Also, feel free to rate and subscribe to us. I should just leave that part out because I don't want anyone to rate us off this show. Via iTunes. And if you missed the live show or want to catch up on any past broadcasts, you can check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Tales of Tamriel. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a good night, everybody. All right.
It's going to be a minute before I turn the stream off. I'm last boss.
No, that's fine. I don't care. It's all good. Let them watch it. Oh my goodness! What? All right, we're definitely at 1 hour and 50 minutes.
No. He was talking about on Christmas. Not even an hour, no, 2 hours.
Oh, not even an hour. Oh, come on, we can do it.
We're doing it. We're doing a Christmas up.
No,
we're doing
it. No, it won't happen.
You don't care. You don't like half your family anyway.
All right, hold on. I'm still streaming.
I like the good half.
Yeah, I'm